Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the last Shabbat of the year. Here we are. It's the last Shabbat of the year, and we're about to enter into the Yamim Noraim. We're in that period right now already of preparing in Elul. I want to share with you a piece written by my colleague Rabbi Joshua Lesser called The Revolving Gates. Standing at the gates of repair, I look behind and I'm reminded of my losses. Is there something new on these sides of the gates? Can I move forward into the new year, letting go of short-sightedness, of only having the good I want, shielding myself from the good I'm receiving in this moment? Will I come to know that the universe gives to me by what it removes? Is there greater learning than only the pain I felt with loss? Are these gates revolving doors, cycles that evolve? Am I in my own way? Allow me to see that my life and my choices can wind toward goodness with faith and with grace. Help me trust that things emerge as good and whole. The gates open and close, they spin again. I arrive at the same spot each time with new eyes. Manora hamakom hazeh, how awesome is this place, this moment? I did not know, but I'm ready to learn. So with those words, we turn to page 176 as we think about what it means to be here in community. Hine ma tov u'mana'im, Shabbat achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for people to be together. Hine ma tov u'mana'im, Shabbat achim gam yachad. 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 It's good to be together, welcoming each other on this Shabbat. We welcome also our friends joining us on the live stream this Shabbat. And we're going to open our service with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. It's my pleasure to call upon Nicole. She's going to lead us in one of the readings on page 20 or 21.
We'll read at the top of page 21. This Shabbat sheds light upon us, light for the days to come. We have leisure by which to see the world with new and grateful eyes. We have time now to look inward. And now we are free to embrace family and friends, to make our lives simpler and more complete.
Think of our homes and those we love. When we call to mind the duties and affections of home, how greatly are all blessings enriched, all cares and sorrows softened.
May the hearts of parents and children always be turned to one another, that our homes may be sanctuaries of love and devotion. May we use this Shabbat to bring happiness to our family life and blessing to our people. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tziv banu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tziv banu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Page 24. We continue at the top of page 27, reading Gimel. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat we try to become attuned to holiness and time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. We turn to page 29 as we welcome Shabbat in the words of L'chadoti.
Yeah.
turn to page 34, and at the top of the page, David, would you lead us in How Can I Sing?
How can I sing of day and night when it is God who formed them?
How can I sing of heaven and earth when it is God who decreed them?
How can I sing of mountains and hills when it is God who planted them?
How can I sing of seas and deserts when it is God who begot them?
And how can I sing of earth and its fullness when it is God who bade them be?
I shall sing to God who fashioned all and is beyond all. It is to God I shall sing. Together on page 36 we rise for the words of Baruch Hu, in body or in spirit. We join together responsibly on page 37 with reading Bet. Leonard, would you lead us in reading Bet?
God of all the worlds, how insignificant we are in your sight, and how minute in your presence. You are creator of a universe so vast that the effort to conceive it overwhelms the mind. Our mightiest telescopes scan but a corner of it. The rays of light that reach us from distant galaxies began their journey long before we came to be. Counted from first creation, the earth we live on was born but yesterday, and we made our appearance on it only a moment ago.
When we consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established, what is humanity that you are mindful of us? What are we mortals that you consider us? Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'arim Arvim. On page 38, we continue responsively in the English of the Ahavat Olam. Ruth, would you lead us there?
Unending is your love for your people, the house of Israel. Torah, mitzvot, laws, and precepts have you taught us.
Therefore, our eternal God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws, rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever.
Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days.
Your love shall never depart from our hearts. We praise you, Eternal One, who loves your people Israel. We rise in body or spirit for the words of Shema and Ve'ahavta on page 40. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti echem be'eretz Mitzrayim, li'olachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Please be seated. Sean, would you lead us on page 42 with reading Aleph?
All of this we hold to be true and certain. The eternal alone is our God. There is none else, and we are Israel, God's people.
Our divine protector delivers us from the hand of human oppressors and saves us from the fist of tyrants.
You perform wonders without number, marvels that surpass our understanding.
You urge us toward life and revive us when we stumble.
You did wonders for us in Egypt, miracles and marvels in the land of Pharaoh.
You led your people Israel out, forever to serve you in freedom.
When your children beheld your power, they praised you and gave you thanks. Freely they accepted your sovereignty, and Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you with great joy.
Page 44. As you redeemed Israel and saved us from arms stronger than our own, so may you redeem all those who are still oppressed and persecuted. We praise you, Eternal One, Redeemer of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Gaal Yisrael. And we continue with the words of the night prayer, the words of Hashkivenu on page 45. Save us. words of Vishamru on page 46. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotav be'it olam be'ni u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti Page 49. Yikada Shmei Rabbah Be'amad Yivrach Yirat Hevi'alich Malchutei Lecha Le'yecham Yolecha U'chayei B'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'ada U'bizman Ka'orni Yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kodeshah le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata le'echata ta'miran v'yallah v'inaru La 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 Adonai Ananana sfatai tiftach Ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha Ananana Adonai Ananana sfatai tiftach Yananana ufi yagid tehilatecha Yananana Adonai Yananana sfatai tiftach Yananana ufi yagid Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu 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 Elohei Avraham Elohei Sarah Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Rivka Elohei Yaakov Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chatzim Tovim V'Konei Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like the softness of moonlight, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh, blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Please join with me on the bottom of page 53 in the English. Our God and God of our ancestors, take pleasure in our rest. Enable us to realize holiness through your mitzvot. Give us your portion in Torah. Let us enjoy the good things of the world and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Help us, our eternal God, to preserve your holy Shabbat with love and joy. Let all Israel, they who sanctify your name, rest upon this day. We praise you, Eternal One, who sanctifies Shabbat. On page 57, the words of Ritzeh. Be gracious, eternal, to your people, Israel. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu, le'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatu, le'ahavati Ha'el. Baruch atah Adonai, המחזיר שכינתו לציון, שפוך רוחך עלינו, ותחזינו עינינו, ותשובו לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר שכינתו לציון, המחזיר שכינתו לציון. On page 60, we continue with words of hoda'ah, words of thanks. We gratefully acknowledge, eternal God, that you are our creator and our preserver, the rock of our life and our protecting shield. We give thanks to you for our lives which are in your hands, for our souls which are in your keeping, for your wondrous providence and your continuous goodness which you bestow upon us day by day. Truly your mercies never fail and your love and kindness never cease. Therefore do we put our trust in you. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm and praise your name with truth. Eternal God, in his goodness, we give you thanks and praise. On page 63, the words of Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Israel, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Israel, Tasim Le'olam. Ki atam melech Adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atam We take a few moments now to pray the words of our own hearts. Page 65. Yehiyu l'ratzon, may the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Yehiyu l'ratzon, imrevi, ve'yon libi lefanecha. We turn our thoughts now to those in our families and our communities in need of healing, both healing of body and healing of spirit. And so we turn to the words of Mishaberach on page 133, the prayer for healing. This Shabbat, we especially are thinking of Jean Pimentel, Yvonne Wilson, Ruth Bass, Chris Toledo, Liba Acharona, Bat Shemaya, Visaralea, Donna Wersbicki, Ian Silver, David Wozniak, Charlie DeAndrea, Marta Steinmetz, Joe Tortel, Bob Ledger, Harvey and Marlene Friedman, Consuelo Franco, Shirley Herman, Rick Valentine, Rebecca Bodbill, Philip Shepard, Dee Hickey, Lorraine DaCosta, Adela Tsur, Al Lofsky, Evelyn Tyndall, Amanda Schenk, Daniel Black, Jean Elizabeth Pitt, Bob Smith, Harav David Hillel Ben Chaya Brana, and Laura Eskenazi. And I invite you to share any other names for those you are praying for on this Shabbat. If you're here in the sanctuary, you can share that out loud or in your heart. If you're on the stream, you can also say it out loud and know that God hears you.
Lord,
May As we continue to pray for those who are still held hostage, we turn to page 80 for the words of the Bracha Matir Asurim. Second paragraph from the bottom of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Matir Asurim Matir Asurim Baruch atah Blessed are you, Adonai, ruler of the universe, who helps set free the captive. We pray for their safe return. We pray for peace and for healing for all those who have been affected, who have been hurt, who have been traumatized by this war. We are at the last Shabbat of the year, and customarily, we are reading Parshat Nitzavim this week. Actually, this week is a double Parsha, Nitzavim Vayelech. That happens most of the time. Very rarely do we ever get to read Vayelech by itself. We have only 5 chapters left in the Torah, and the old year is coming to an end. Very soon, Wednesday evening, we will be coming into the synagogue to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, and we'll be embarking on a new year. Please God, may it be a year of health and peace for everyone. Last week was a very long portion of Ki Tavo, and it included 98 curses that Moses warned would fall upon the Israelites if they don't keep the Torah. And we didn't read all 98 of those curses. We had a bar mitzvah last weekend, and he chanted beautifully from all the blessings that are part of the portion. But right after this, now comes Nitzavim. Nitzavim and Vayelech are both very short portions. If you put all of the verses together in both of them, you only have 70 verses. And as I said, Nitzavim is always read the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah, particularly because chapter 30, or maybe just by happenstance, we read it. It happens to describe how God will return to the Jewish people if they will only do teshuvah, if we return to God's ways. So 8 times we have the root of this verb, shuv, which means return, and it's all within there. And it's most fitting, therefore, that we read it before Rosh Hashanah, as we're preparing for the days when we're urged to do teshuvah, to return to God, before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Now, one of my very favorite sections of Torah comes from Nitzavim. Moses urges the people to choose life and to remember that keeping mitzvot is really not so difficult. We read in chapter 30, verses 11 through 14, "Surely this instruction which I enjoin upon you this day is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. It is not in the heavens, lo bashamayim he, that you should say, who among us can go up to the heavens and get it for us, bring it back here and impart it to us that we might observe it. Lo be'ever hayam, it is not beyond the sea, that you should say, who can cross to the other side of the sea and get it for us and bring it back for us so that we might observe it? No, the thing is very close to you. It's in your mouth. It's in your heart to observe it. In other words, Torah is yours. It's here for you. It's connected to you. There is no one that's your intermediary, something that you need to grasp for yourself and that you can do for yourself. There's a story in the Talmud, Tractate Erevin, that is attributed to Rabbi Joshua ben Hananiah. And once he was walking on a road, seeking his way to an unfamiliar town. And At a fork in the roads, he meets a young boy. And Rabbi Joshua says, "What is the way to town?" And the boy points his finger towards the right and says, "That road, it's near and far." And he turns over to the left side, he points that way, and he says, "That road is far and near." This was a little confusing to Rabbi Joshua, so he asked the boy again to repeat the directions, and the boy said, "This road is near and far, and this road is far and near." Not really clear to Rabbi Joshua at all. They were confusing. Which road would you take? So, Rabbi Joshua thought about it. Near and far, far and near, near and far. He thought that the road to the right was shorter, so he started going that way. But he soon discovered that that way was obstructed by lots of big fruit gardens that were surrounded by big fences so that nobody could get past them. So he backtracked. He went back down the road he had come down, and he found the boy that had given him the directions, and he said, "Why did you mislead me?" "I didn't do that," said the boy. "You didn't listen to my directions. You didn't pay attention. Did I not say that the road to the right is near and far? It's the nearer road if you ask about distance. But because of all the barriers, the fences, the gardens, it's actually farther because it takes more time and effort to traverse. If I told you that the other road was far and near, and if you looked on a map, it is further. But it is also nearer because it's clear, it's unobstructed. There's nothing getting in the way. We might be familiar with this from some of the traffic that we encounter on a daily basis. Unfortunately, Rabbi Joshua did not have a GPS, so he had to rely on these directions. The rabbis say that this is a teaching about what we read in the Parsha this week, that God tells us in Deuteronomy that Torah and mitzvot are not far from us in the heavens or across the sea, that we have a choice in front of us to choose the path of life and blessing. And not only that, that the gift of Torah is so close to us that it's literally in our mouths and in our hearts. So when we come into the synagogue on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we will be reflecting on the year that has passed. We'll be reflecting on our lives, what we have done, what we have not done. We'll be asking for God's forgiveness for all the times that we didn't listen carefully to the directions that were given to us. All the times that we, through our own stubbornness and our lack of attention and our carelessness, or maybe our deliberateness, took detours through orchards and fences and around obstacles in our actions and our words and our relationships. Instead of patience and kindness and compassion, sometimes we took what we thought was the nearer, farther path, instead of realizing that despite taking more effort or understanding or consideration, that the path really was in our mouth and our hearts and was really perhaps seeming farther, but was the nearer way. So it's fitting that this Parsha Nitzavim is the last Torah portion that we read this week, because those themes of tshuva, of renewal, of choosing life, and most of all, a recommitment to the brit, the covenant that we have made with God and with our people, by everyone in our community resonates throughout the words of this week's Parsha. You'll probably recognize it as well as being one of the Torah readings that we read on Yom Kippur morning, because in the Reformed tradition, we understand that its teachings help us to enter into the spirit of the new year and remind us that we too can find the gift of Torah right here, very close to us, helping us to make better choices in our lives according to the teaching that is not far, it is not across the sea, it's not in the heavens, it's right here for us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
As we turn towards the concluding prayers of our service, we continue with the words of Aleinu on page 149. Aleinu reminds us it's up to us to try to work together, to do tikkun, to repair the world, to make the world a better place. We pray that the world may soon be one and at peace. We rise in body or spirit. Alleluia, Shabbat, Al-Kol, Vatei Gdula, Celebration, Asher Som Kalkelia, Chet Shemo, Vegor Aleinu, Alik Malchuto, Vanachnu Korim, Umishtachavim, Umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim v'Yosei Haaretz, U'Mashav Yikaro, U'Shamayim Yimao, U'Shchinatu Zo, U'Shchinatu Zo, V'Goren Meromim, U'Eloheinu Ein-Od, Emet Malkeinu, Hefes Umato, Kagatu, V'Torato, V'yadata Hayom Hashivota, El Levovecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, V'Shamayim Mima'al, V'Haaretz Mitachat Ein-Od. Please be seated. We turn to the top of page 155. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. God is our support in the struggles of life and our hope in death. In God's care are all the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. God gives us strength and comforts us. Life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts. Fill us with trust in you and turn us again to the tasks of life. And may the memory of our own loved ones inspire us to continue their work for the coming of the Messianic age. At this time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those of our friends and neighbors, and all of those people whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We're in Shloshim for Hirsch Goldberg Poland, Eden Yerushalmi, Ori Danino, Alex Lobanov, Carmel Gotz, and Almog Sarusi. We recall the following whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of whose death occurs this week. Alfred Richmond, the father of Ruth Snell, the grandfather of Tamara, Rebecca, and Simcha, the great-grandfather of Jonathan, Gordon, Vivian, Owen, and Filippo. Morris Rosemarin, the father of Leonard, and the grandfather of Nicole and Chantel and Danielle. Leo Radulescu, the father of Andrea Galambos and Peter, the grandfather of Andrew Georgescu. Michael Shapiro, the brother of Howard. Jaro Zeitz, the father of Daniel. Peter Fick, the brother of Michael and the uncle of Ira and Eric. Molly Kadeski, the mother of Debbie Berkovich. Michelle Abramson, the father of Ruth Assenheim. David Phillipson, the grandfather of Diane Adler. David Patnick, the brother of Bill and the brother-in-law of Kim Main. Moshe Prats, the brother of Arlene Botnick and Lorraine Chelsky. Murray Dale, a founding member of Solel. Oscar Poppert, the uncle of Leo Van Tyne. Sid Pearl, the uncle of Cheryl Shine and the brother-in-law of Florence Iron. Dorothy Gutkin, the mother of Calvin, the mother-in-law of Mary, the grandmother of Michelle, Maya, Leah, Matt, and Corey. Pierre Andrianov, the father of Francoise. Bill McKellar, the grandfather of Nicole Hansen. Tamara Wainthal, the mother of Francoise Andrianov. Ivan Frank, the husband of Catherine, the brother-in-law of Bram and Joanna. And Lauren Helen Latz, the aunt of Jill Dennis. If anyone else is observing a yahrzeit this week and you'd like to share your relative or friend's name, we invite you to do so at this time. We ask those who are mourning to please rise first. That we might say to Min Hamakom Tinachamu, may you find comfort in God's sheltering presence. Now as a community, we all rise to support those who are mourning and to say Kaddish for those who have no one to say it for them. On page 159. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yamachon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kari v'imur amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah m'varach le'alam v'lamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu, le'elam in kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imur amen. Yehei shalom Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yoko Yisrael v'imur amen. Osei shalom b'mrama, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yoko Yisrael, v'yoko b'nei adam v'imur amen. May the source of peace and peace to those who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us, among all of our people Israel, and among all the nations and families of earth. And we say together, Amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure at this time to call upon Miriam Schumann, representing our board, for bringing greetings and announcements.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. So tonight I would like to thank all of our volunteers, Joel as the tech volunteer, Nicole as the shamas, Frank as the greeter, and Nicole in loving memory of your father, Jim Duncan, as the sponsor for tonight's oneg. Is there shofar? Okay, and Joel for shofar. Yet to come. All right. If you are not already signed up for Solel's Facebook and Instagram accounts and regularly checking our website, you should do so, because that is the place to find out all the cool stuff that we're doing. But just to give you a quick rundown, tomorrow morning we have a regular Shabbat service at 10 a.m. And then in the evening, there's a Slichot program. 7 o'clock, there's a special film and a service starting at 8:15. Then there are the services that the rabbi already mentioned for Rosh Hashanah, Wednesday night and Thursday morning. And then Friday, there's a special service. All of this is on all of those sites that I mentioned. Okay. There's no evening Shabbat service on October 4th. Beit Sefer will happen on Sunday, September 29th at 10 a.m. as we begin this new school year. And on October 6th, there's classes at 10 a.m. for Beit Sefer, followed by Tashlich and the family barbecue. For those who are coming to the break fast at the end of Yom Kippur on Saturday, October 12th, we're asking people to bring ready-to-eat snacks, cookies, crackers, etc., and you can place them in the kitchen or the fridge if needed. If there's anybody who is a visitor here and you're new and you have any questions, feel free to come and speak to me or one of our other board members. We have a couple in the room, so feel free to talk to us. We're happy to speak to you. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. On page 163, you'll find the words of Kiddush for Shabbat. And it's my pleasure to invite David to lead us. We invite all of you to rise and body your spirit. If you're at home joining us on the stream, you might raise your own glass to toast l'chaim with us.
Vahi Erev, Vahi Boker, Yom HaShishi.
Now the whole universe, sky, earth, and all their array, was completed. With the seventh day God had ended the work of creation and rested with all work completed. Then God blessed the seventh day and called it holy, for with this day God had completed the work of creation. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishonu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yahavahu ratzon yichilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah le'mikra'ei kodesh, zeh yetziat Mitzrayim, Tivanu b'charta, v'otanu kiddashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshcha, v'yahavahu ratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Chaim. Tekiah. Shavarim. Teruah. Tekiah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please join us for Oneg Shabbat in the Kiddush room. Shabbat Shalom to all of our friends joining us on the stream. We wish you a day of joy, rest, and peace. Shabbat Shalom all.